Hey y'all. So YouTube has told me that some of my content has a little bit of sexual content or sexual nudity or whatever the case might be. So from this point on, I have to stop putting in the quirky adult stuff on there. Even as minimal as it is, I've got to get rid of it because I do want to be part of everybody else in the YouTube community and get monetized. So from here on, I'm gonna cut out all the sexual innuendos and nudities and so on and so forth. Okay, I promise that's the last one. I promise.
King.
Churro.
Hey, Bobby.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy King Churro. I just wanted to read this real quick. It was on Yahoo News, so it's not completely credible because they are a biased publication. But it says here that the Proud Boys leader sentenced to more than 5 months for burning a Black Lives Matter banner. Interesting, right? Now the thing is they always portray the Proud Boys as a far-right, white supremacist, or white nationalist type of organization, right? But one thing that's always misinformed about is the leader, the current sitting leader of the Proud Boys, is his name is Enrique Tarrio. I believe he's of Dominican or Puerto Rican descent, right? But he's the leader of the Proud Boys. Not very a white supremacist if he ain't even white. I mean, that just sounds weird, right? It's the leader of the far-right Proud Boys was sentenced Monday to more than 5 months in jail after admitting that he burned a Black Lives Matter banner taken from a historic black church in Washington during a pro-Trump demonstration in December. Henry Tarrio, known to followers as Enrique, was arrested January 4th in Washington on a warrant stemming from an incident on December 12th. The Proud Boys and other groups marched in a ruckus rally through downtown. See that? A ruckus rally. Yahoo News. I mean, I'm checking my emails for my for the other job that I had applied for and interviewed for and did the drug test for. So this is the reason why I'm on, but I had to share this with you guys. The banner was stolen from Asbury United Methodist Church, one of the oldest black churches in Washington. Tarrio, 37, so he's younger than me, of Miami, also pleaded guilty to attempting to possess a high-capacity gun magazine, which is illegal in Washington. Investigators said he had the magazines with him when he returned to the city for the January 6th protests of the electoral vote count in Congress. I think y'all just trying to pull shit out. I mean, you're just trying to pull stuff out of the air at this point. Both charges were misdemeanors punishable by up to 6 months in jail. Federal prosecutors recommended a sentence of 90 days in jail, following by 3 months of probation, and an order forbidding him to return to Washington. He's a okay, maybe not law-abiding, but he's still an American. Like, we should be able to go to our capital. I mean, regardless of whatever. I mean, don't y'all have like a high crime rate in Washington, D.C. without people having to go there to commit crimes? I mean, he burned a BLM flag. How many American flags were burned throughout the course of BLM and all this other stuff? You know, let's not take away from the fact that Black lives matter, because all lives matter. All right. right? Let's not take away from that. Let's not take away from the fact that regardless of the statement that Black Lives Matter, it's all a political stunt. It's all political. So not much you can say about that. The organization is Marxist. They've got their own agenda that has nothing to do with Black lives. One of the founders of Black Lives Matter is married to a white trans male. Anyway. Federal prosecutors recommended a sentence of 90 days in jail, followed by 3 months of probation and an order forbidding him to return to Washington. They said his burning of the banner had profound emotional and psychological effect upon the church and its members, and that he bragged openly about it, saying on social media, "I'm damn proud I did it." How come Yahoo News, you guys never put on about how people were damn proud of burning the American flag? Just saying. A senior pastor at the church, the Reverend Dr. Ianther Mills, spoke during the court hearing before the sentence was imposed. She called Tarrio's conduct an act of intimidation and racism. Racism? You know, if he's Dominican, he's probably more African than you are. Let's not forget that the Caribbean had a lot of slaves going that way. Let's not forget that majority of the Puerto Ricans, regardless of last name and all that stuff, their native people were the Tainos. But let's not forget that African slaves were brought to the Caribbean, to Puerto Rico, to Dominican Republic. But yeah, we'll call it racism. So she called Tarrio's conduct an act of intimidation and racism, and he treated his action as a trophy on social media. Tarrio told the judge Monday that he made a grave mistake by burning the banner. "I profoundly apologize. I see the consequences of what I did." The prosecutor said that video taken during the December demonstration showed that he was on and around the church property as other members of the Proud Boys stole the banner. He surely knew where he was and where the banner he burned, which had Asbury's name printed on it, had come from. Superior Court Judge Harold Kuchenberg said Tarrio did not credibly express genuine remorse and sentenced him to a total of 155 days. A judge who was not there. I'm going to actually look up who Harold Kuchenberg looks like. I already know, but let's look it up anyway. Harold Kuchenberg. Now, did you mean Judge Harold Cushenberry? Is that what it said? Let's look. No, it says Kuchenberg on Yahoo News, so I'm looking for the right person. ABC News is going to give me the exact same news story as Yahoo News. Because, it's just they all circulate the same news story. I'm trying to find out what Judge Harold Kushnerberg looks like, so we can address the elephant in the room, for me at least. Anyway, I can't find a picture of him, but Superior Court Judge Harold Kushnerberg said Tarrio did not incredibly express genuine remorse and sentenced him to a total of 155 days. Now here's my thing, guys. According to that pastor, Asbury United Methodist Church, Tarrio's conduct was an act of intimidation and racism. So I'm really putting it in perspective here, guys. Tarrio, who is definitely not white, is being judged by a judge, go figure, who says he did that Tarrio did not credibly express genuine remorse. Seems to me, now this is just, it's not fact, all right? It's not fact, it's opinion, okay? But it seems to me that Tarrio, again, of Dominican or Puerto Rican descent, right? Tarrio is being judged by a white judge in saying that he did not credibly express genuine remorse. I mean, if I'm gonna be ignorant about it, I'm gonna say that judge is being racist. That's an act of racism. If I'm gonna be ignorant about it. Tarrio was ordered to surrender to the Washington, D.C. jail on September 6th. The guilty plea and sentence were unrelated to the January 6th Capitol riot, in which at least 36 members of followers of the Proud Boys have been charged. Federal prosecutors said in court documents that Tarrio, referred to as the Proud Boys chairman, posted messages on social media that members of the group planned to turn out in record numbers on January 6th. After Tarrio was arrested, prosecutors said other members of the group took over the planning for what would happen when Congress met to count the electoral vote for president. Federal law enforcement officials have said Washington police were tipped off that he was coming to Washington for the event and were on the lookout for him, prepared to arrest him for burning the banner. So the guilty plea and sentence were unrelated to the January 6th Capitol riot. Yet, we're going to talk about how it's related. Does that make any sense, guys? You know, my problem with a lot of what's going on the left versus the right. We don't know how to make one incident. It's like we make one incident and then you want to create it as, well, this happened and this happened. They're not related, but they're all the same thing. How? I think it's unfair that they go as far as giving him a sentence of 5 months in jail over burning a banner versus the countless liberal Americans that burned the American flag. You know, my buddy, and I love him to death, he's my brother to me, but he says the American flag is just a piece of fabric. Like I said, I love him to death, so I'm not going to hold it against him. It's his belief. Would he go out there and burn the flag? I doubt it. Possibly more so because of how it would affect our relationship. Like I say, he's my brother, man. I'll watch his back from get to get. He's not anti-American, but he's just, you know, he's one of those who feels like black people have been very disadvantaged. You know, and him and I we'll have our disagreements about stuff, and you know, at the end of the day, I always watch out for my bros. Like I said, he's I've known him for over 20 years. I love him like he's my own brother. And so his 7 kids are my nieces and nephews, right? That's how I look at things. That's the loyalty I bring to the table, right? The reason why I say all this is, again, you can act all you want, and as far as feeling like you're disadvantaged or you're, whatever. And y'all white liberals, y'all kill me with your shit, because I just don't understand why white liberals act like they need that they're so oppressed. You're not oppressed. You're the oppressors.
The black people, my kids were the ones who Antifa threw bombs and pepper gas at on August 7th.
The black conservative preacher's wife.
Right. Oh, yeah. So because I'm his wife, my kids don't matter?
No, your kids absolutely matter. And
okay,
I think
so
it's crap that they got hurt. But
can we please tell us why?
Nope, I don't engage with you or your husband.
Oh, this is classic, guys. Please get this on camera. This is what white liberal women do. They're 1,000 times worse than Karens. Okay? And I want you to pay close attention. The white liberal women will not engage in conversation with me. Why? Because I do not. Oh, because of who my husband is.
Just to be clear.
So I am devalued. So women matter, right? We don't want women to be oppressed. Women matter. But because of who my husband is, I no longer have value. There she goes. There she goes, people.
You're not oppressed. Sorry, that's just how it goes. You're not oppressed. You're an oppressor. Y'all like to go out. Y'all like to wreak havoc on, innocent people, and then say it's the system that's making you do that. That sounds ridiculous. And you want to say, oh, the Proud Boys, they're all white supremacists. Yeah, but the leader of the Proud Boys is not even white. Why can't we get that instilled in our heads? I need to put this laptop down. Or maybe not. Why can't y'all get that instilled in your head? Stop calling the Proud Boys a white supremacist group when they have more than just white people in the Proud Boys. They've got blacks. They've got, Hispanics, Mexicans, Salvadorans, Guatemalans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans. I'm sure they got some Filipinos in there too. If they don't, sign me up. I am so tired of people saying the Proud Boys are a white supremacist group when they're not. Maybe they're extreme alt-right, cool. But they're not a white supremacist group. Stop saying that. That makes 0 sense why you say that. Because they are not. The Proud Boys were created because society was already starting to remove the masculinity in society, in men. So they created themselves as the Proud Boys. And there were men that joined the cause because they do not want to be washed out. They don't want their masculinity washed out, which is what you as society were doing. Someone is going to go in the comments and tell me that I'm wrong and blah, blah, blah. I've watched documentaries. I've watched interviews. And it's always the same thing. They started because they were proud to be men. They were proud to be boys. They were proud to be masculine. There's even gays in the Proud Boys who just celebrate the fact that men are men. That's the problem, is you can't celebrate men for men. You always have to celebrate women, which is awesome too. I celebrate women all the time. Every day I celebrate women. One in particular, my woman, my wife. The mother of my doggy babies. But the fact of the matter is, When you say Proud Boys are white nationalists, racist, white supremacists, you're wrong. And if you can't read the name of Mr. Enrique Tarrio, who is the Proud Boys chairman or the leader, and you still say, oh, well, his name is Enrique Tarrio, he's a white supremacist. How the fuck is he a white supremacist? How? Y'all about to give me a stroke. Please.
I won't even condemn the fact they flipped the van, because what the f are you trying to do? Why are you coming down here? We changed locations so you would leave us alone. We're done running away. We have no other option but to stand up for ourselves. If we keep running away, there'll be nowhere for us to speak freely. There'll be nowhere for us to exercise the constitutional rights, the First Amendment, to express yourself. You have to be able to express yourself politically, culturally, all of it. If you can't do it, this is a communist country. We're going to fight communism. That's what this is.
The lesson I want you to learn is it doesn't matter what you look like. You can be tall or short, or fat or thin, or ugly, or handsome, like your father. You can be black or yellow or white. It doesn't matter. What does matter is the size of your heart and the strength of your character.